Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Coach Paul Tortorella Show. This is Jack Benedict, and we're here to talk about the Crimson Hawks and the wrap-up of the season. And it was a disappointing loss, but what a season it was. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about the future. Final score 27-17 with West Florida. Coach, disappointing start, and that put you in a hole. But what a comeback you had. You almost made it go. Talk about the early part of this game and what was happening.
Well, we didn't get off to a great start, but we threw an interception there. We kind of got collisioned on a route and tip ball, so forth. But we held them to a field goal. It was 10-0, 10-0, and we still felt pretty good about things, really, to be honest with you. We were driving. I thought the difference, really, where the game became a major issue was the last 3 minutes of the second quarter when we were driving and we fumbled. And then they went down and scored, and they were working the clock. We were going to call timeout if we stopped them on third down to get the ball back. They weren't even calling timeout. They broke the big run. They scored right there at the end of the half, made it 17-0. And then the beginning, really the first 3 minutes of the third quarter when we had the bad snap on the punt, and then they scored on the third down catch where the guy jumped up over our guy and caught it, even though he was out of bounds and came back in. You can't challenge that because it's technically a penalty, and you can't challenge a penalty. So really the catch should not have been a catch, but because of the way the rules are, if the officials don't see it, it's not challengeable. So the catch was a legitimate catch, but he had been out of bounds and stepped back in. But regardless of the whole thing there, I think where we really ran into problems on the game, where the last 3 minutes of the second quarter, first 3 minutes of the third quarter, that little 6 minute span there, we had given up 14 points, and it was a 14-0 swing. Now we're looking at 24-0 instead of 10-0. And as we saw, we made our run and started playing, really well there in the third and a decent amount of the fourth quarter, and got it down to a one-score game where if it's 10-0 instead of 24-0, we're right there. And we were right there. We had a one-score game, and they made two great plays on their drive for the field goal on third down. An unbelievable throw and catch when we had them backed up, diving catch down the field, great throw.
That was amazing.
And then the play where it was ruled an incomplete pass where they overturned it after the challenge. So really, we'd have been better off without instant replay because we were actually 0 for 2 on challenges. The one we couldn't challenge that we would have won, and the one that they challenged kept their possession. I don't know what they would have done. They were on our 33. It would have been 4th and 8. I don't think they would have tried a field goal. They may have tried to go for it. They may have punted. We were getting ready to call another defense, but then we were getting word from our guys upstairs that it was going to be a catch. I thought it was on the field. And then after they looked at it, they called it a catch. So they made two great plays there at the end when they had the 7-point lead, and they were trying to get it to a 2-score game, and we had them in third down twice. And, great coverage. The last one that was called an incomplete pass that was a catch, we blitzed, we hit him, we were right in his face, we hit him as soon as he threw it. Number 7 again, or not 7, but 7 made the great catch down the field on the deep throw where we had pretty good coverage. So, you got to give them credit too. We got it to a one-score game. They had to make a couple plays. We got them in 2 third down situations in our favor, and they made the plays, and so that's how it ended up.
Yeah. Where do you, when you look at the opposition of the teams you played, Ashland, the good teams in the PSAC, and you get with Assumption.
Sure.
Where does West Florida fit in?
Well, I think skill-wise on the perimeter, we don't play anybody like them in regards to receivers, secondary, linebackers. I was saying on the sideline, there were a few plays that we had on offense where, boy, it looked like we were going to hit a big play, a lot of area with the ball in our hands with nobody around, and next thing you know, it's a 4-yard gain because they got 2 guys coming out of the secondary coming from just out of nowhere. The play that's made down on the goal line on our misdirection flip play to Bullock on 3rd and goal on the 5, number 2 for them, Duncan he's a big linebacker, makes an unbelievable play on Samir. I mean, it's one-on-one out there on the perimeter. And, we're going to win that battle most of the time with Samir. The guy made a great play, so we had to kick the field goal to get it to a one-score game. But I would be willing to bet there are 4 or 5 plays that we could talk about where, if we weren't playing West Florida, we had big plays on offense, and just their speed and overall athleticism of how they can recover. I'll tell you another play that looked like we had there at the end on the throw to McNeil down the middle of the field on the goal line.
Oh, yeah.
They blitzed us. Lenny had to throw it quick, and he laid it up there beautifully, but the ball had to be in the air a long time because he had to throw it too soon because of the pressure. And Conley, their safety, number 5, came all the way from the other hash and covered a ton of ground to get involved in the throw down on the goal line on the other hash where we had Dom wide open when the ball was released. Those kind of plays showed up that skill-wise and on the perimeter, this team was better than anybody we played.
You know, it's not to make excuses that you're playing a team that's fully funded,
Sure.
with 36 scholarships
Right.
and all that sort of thing. Really, what turned it around for you to get it going when it was 24-0? You know, this thing could end up 50-0 if you didn't bear down, and all of a sudden it's a game.
Well, I think we got to play into our strengths. You know, we had a touchdown drive where we ran the ball, I think, every play and went right down the field and scored on them. Then we got, you know, defensively, we got a big short yardage stop. We started stopping the run, made some adjustments. You know, defensively, we really never had a chance. You know, we were playing defense on our side of the 50 a lot. Couple turnovers, a short punt, the bad snap with the punter. So, you know, defensively, you know, even though they ran for more yards than we ever thought they would, the one was the big run at the end of the first half. The second half, we played pretty good defense other than the guy making the great catch in the corner of the end zone, jumping up. I mean, we had 2 guys right there. So it was a great play. But I thought, you know, we got back to doing what we do. We were running the ball. We were stopping the run. We hit the big play with Woosner. We got a big 3 and out. They shanked the punt. You know, they were down inside the 5. 24-14, we can cut it to 3. We don't get it in there. That probably hurt our momentum a little bit, but we had to kick the field goal to get it a 1-score game. And even when we were down 10, we were driving. We lost some yardage, and then we had to go for it on 4th and 15 with the throw to Dom. If we would have just been in a position where we could have kicked the field goal, there was still 2.5, 3 minutes to go. We still had 2 timeouts left. We could have kicked the field goal and either tried an onside kick or kicked off and tried to get a 3 and out. And we still might have had a chance. So the field goal that they got to go up by 2 scores still played a part in it, but we still could have kicked the field goal there, but we lost yardage. We had 1st and 10 on the 31-yard line, and we missed Woosner on a hook route that would have got us down inside the 20. But if we wouldn't have lost yardage, we probably would have kicked the field goal on 4th down there to get it back to a 1-score game, and probably would have tried an onside kick. But to really answer your question, after, you know, going on and on, we got back to running the ball, stopping the run, and we started to put the pressure on them, and the momentum changed.
And they pretty much took a page from your book with the last 7.5-minute drive. And really, I think when we looked at it pre-game, did not expect them to run the ball that well. But again, that's credit of the talent and the offensive line that they had.
Yes, they didn't have a 100-yard rusher.
You were playing without a couple players.
Yeah,
too.
we didn't have Tillman and Redfield, 2 of our better players on defense. But by the same token, they had to execute their run game. They hadn't had a 100-yard rusher all year. So, you know, we knew that we had to play both run and pass. Couple plays in the run game we didn't fit up well, and we didn't play well that we normally do. Hurt us early, and then on the long run there before the half. But then the second half, we played the run very well, got back to doing things the way we do them, and got 2 or 3 stops right there in a row when we made the comeback. But they're a very good team. You know, like we were talking on the way over, they went on the road and beat a 1 seed in their own region and went on the road and beat us, obviously, as a 1 seed. So to get to the national championship, they had to go on the road and beat 2 number 1 seeds, which they did.
Yeah. Well, the future looks good. You have a lot. You know, you lose a lot of good players.
Sure.
But you have a lot of good players coming back. Some redshirt freshmen in there too. I know I see them in practice all the time. Your thoughts about that and the future here and your needs? What do you need for next year?
Well, the one area where we're going to lose 2 really good players is at defensive tackle and nose guard with Averett and Weldon and Diven. You know, we have 3 guys there that have played a lot of football for us. So that's an area we're going to. You know, we have some young guys. We have Dylan Scott. We have a couple redshirt freshmen that look like they're going to be very good players, but you that's probably the area that gets hit the most on defense and safety, with Redfield and Turner. But offensively, we got most of our offensive line back. We're going to lose Jerron, Searles, and Esposito. Jerron was a great player all year for us, and Rocco was a good player for 6 games for us. Obviously, we're going to lose a couple wideouts, Walt and Woosner, and I'm trying to think of the third one.
Well, you lose Alan Wright.
And Alan Wright. So we're going to lose 3 wideouts, but we're pretty deep there. We've got most of our running back. Well, we got all of our running backs back. Plus, Chris Temple will be back. Lenny will be back for his senior year.
Do you expect Drew Harris to be back?
Yes, we expect Drew Harris to be back. So, we feel pretty good in a lot of different areas. We got both of our starting defensive ends back. Both of our starting inside linebackers were only sophomores. We had 11 kids make all conference that were underclassmen. 6 of them were sophomores or freshmen. We had Justice Evans make it also as a freshman. So we had Dauberman start as a true freshman. So we had 3 true freshmen really do a good job for us. Brown, obviously Evans, and Dauberman on offense. So, the future's bright. We lose a lot of good players that have been here. I think Coach Campola was talking, this senior group may have been 39-11 or 38-11 over 4 years.
Wow.
So they've had a good 4-year run. They've helped us win a lot of football games. Good kids, character kids. Proud to be a part of the program, with them. And most of them really helped contribute to a lot of those wins the last 4 years.
Lenny's going to be a senior, your quarterback. Of course, we see him back again to lead the way.
Right.
Got to get some people in there as backups for him.
What's
your approach
we're
there?
going to probably look into looking at maybe a younger transfer, either junior college or Division I, and then probably go out and recruit a high school kid. It's hard up to this point to get a guy to come in because they know Lenny's here and he still has years left and he still has 3 years left. Now he has 2 years left. Well, now he only has 1 year left. So now we feel like it'll be a lot easier to go out and get a younger transfer to come in knowing that, Lenny's only here 1 more year. And then we've got to go get another young quarterback to bring into the program. So, it's different pieces to the puzzle. You got to fit it. You got to get the right kind of kid that's interested, obviously, in getting a degree and being a student athlete, and it's got good character. So you don't just go out and try to find the best football players. They have to have a little bit of everything for you.
The recruiting rules changed this year. Explain that.
Right. Well, you could actually go out. You could have signed. You could actually go out and Division I and 1AA will sign a lot of guys on December 20th. We actually can too in Division II. Now we're not gonna. So that's a little different in that the run that we've had, as long as we've had, obviously takes away from these other teams have been out on the road recruiting for about a week to 10 days, but that's fine. We'd rather keep playing. So we're behind just a little bit in that regard, but the early signing period helps in that you really don't know who's going to be available until after the 20th anyway. So we'll get out into the schools here in the next 5 or 6 days, probably up until next Wednesday, start our, get our feet on the ground recruiting. Then we'll have the Christmas break and we'll get back out. We'll probably do a lot more recruiting in January, actually being in the schools more than we've ever been because, we've lost about a week or so of recruiting on the road. But, in the sliding scale, the grades, the grade point average and the core courses and the SAT scores are a little bit different. So, you can't really think that you can go out there and just recruit anybody. They have to, academically have to be solid enough for you to recruit them. So we'll be fine. We've done a good job last year, obviously, in recruiting. We'll just put together, sometimes when you go 13-0, 13-1, win a bunch of championships, win the region, that kind of recruits itself.
I was going to bring that up. That was my next question. That doesn't hurt at all, does it?
No, we've had a lot of kids contact us who we haven't even had a chance to go see yet in the schools, who've been to some games and obviously within a 2-hour, 3-hour radius of here understand the type of season that we had and want to be a part of that. So, we'll be fine.
Well, I think for all of us in the community and the fans, and the fans were just great, weren't they, on Saturday?
After the game when we had lost, you feel bad for the players and for the coaching staff and everybody, but you actually felt bad for the whole community too, because it was a great run, and you know, our alumni, our community, our administration, they were all in with us. You know,
Well,
so
believe me,
it was a good run.
You didn't leave anybody down, that's for sure. And so, I mean, congratulations to you, the coaching staff, the players. It was just great. We all have great memories this year, and you tied an all-time record at the school, and that's not an easy thing to do. So,
Well, you know, our saying after the game is, you know, we fell a little short, but we'll be back.
yeah, sounds good. We'll have all in two.
Yeah, that'll be a good one. All in,
All
too.
in two. All right. Thanks, Coach.
I appreciate it, Jack.
Coach Paul Tortorella, what a year, what excitement we had. 13-1. This will go down in the annals as one of the great years in IUP history. We've had a lot of fun, and there's a lot more to come in the future. For the coach and for all of us this year, we'll talk with you soon. This is Jack Benedict.